The 1980s were tough on farmers, high interest rates, tight margins, and brutal field demands. But in the middle of all that, one tractor brand earned a reputation for being unbreakable: Case IH. From the last true internationals to the very first Magnums, these machines proved they could take a beating and still fire up the next morning. Today we're counting down the 10 most reliable Case IH tractors of the 80s, and wait until you see the model that farmers still call the greatest tractor ever built. Number 1. Case IH Magnum 7110. The Case IH Magnum 7110, introduced in 1987, marked the beginning of the legendary Magnum series. Rated at about 130 horsepower, the 7010 was the smallest in the lineup, but it quickly became a favorite for its versatility and rock-solid reliability. What made the 7110 stand out was its Cummins 8.3L six-cylinder diesel engine, which delivered torque, efficiency, and durability in equal measure. Farmers praised it as nearly indestructible, with many examples running well past 10,000 hours with only routine maintenance. Unlike some of its competitors, the 7110 combined strong pulling power with fuel efficiency, making it practical for farms of all sizes. The tractor also introduced the world to Magnum's full power shift transmission. With 18 forward and 4 reverse speeds, it gave operators smooth, clutch-free shifting. This was a massive step forward in usability and reliability, as it was engineered to handle abuse without frequent failures. The 7110 was also designed with farmer comfort in mind. Its cab was spacious, quiet, and offered excellent visibility, making long days in the field less tiring. The combination of operator comfort, unmatched reliability, and straightforward maintenance earned it legendary status almost immediately. Even today, the 7110 remains one of the most sought-after used tractors on the market. Farmers still trust it for planting, baling, hauling, and tillage. It was a machine that proved Case IH could deliver after the merger, and it set the standard for decades of Magnum tractors that followed. Number 2. Case IH Magnum 7140. While the 7010 was the versatile all-rounder, the Case IH Magnum 7140 was the true powerhouse of the late 1980s. With around 19.5 horsepower, it gave large-scale farmers the muscle they needed for heavy tillage, planting wide drills, and pulling big grain carts. Like its smaller sibling, the 7140 was powered by the Cummins 8.3L diesel, but tuned for more horsepower and torque. Farmers quickly discovered that the 7140 could handle the toughest jobs without breaking a sweat. Many reported putting tens of thousands of hours on these machines with minimal issues, a true testament to their reliability. The full power shift transmission was another highlight. Farmers loved being able to shift through all 18 gears seamlessly, whether pulling a heavy plow or running on the road. Unlike some competitor transmissions that were finicky or prone to failure, the Magnum's transmission was built to last, and it did. The cab on the 7140 was another major improvement. Case IH emphasized comfort and ergonomics, with intuitive controls, good visibility, and reduced noise levels. It was the kind of tractor you could spend 12 hours in without feeling completely worn out. What cemented the 7140's reputation for reliability was its low downtime. Farmers valued that it simply worked. While other brands sometimes struggled with electronics or complex hydraulics, the 7140 was straightforward and easy to maintain. Today, the 7140 is considered one of the greatest tractors of the 1980s and perhaps one of the best ever built. Farmers still use them daily, and they remain highly desirable in the used market. It was the tractor that proved Case IH's Magnum line wasn't just reliable, it was unbeatable. Number 3. International Harvester 1086. Before the Case IH merger, International Harvester's 1086, introduced in 1976 but produced into the early 1980s, had already established itself as a workhorse. With about 131 horsepower, it became one of IH's most popular tractors, and many are still running strong today. The 1086 was part of IH's 86 series and was powered by the DT414 six-cylinder turbocharged diesel engine. Farmers trusted this engine for its durability, torque, and fuel efficiency. Even under heavy loads, The 1086 performed consistently, and routine maintenance kept them working for decades. One of the 1086's most notable features was its cab design. Compared to older IH models, it offered a quieter ride, improved visibility, and better ergonomics. While it wasn't as refined as the Magnum cabs that came later, it represented a big step forward in operator comfort. Farmers often remember the 1086 as a get-it-done tractor. It was simple, reliable, and versatile enough to handle a variety of tasks, from heavy tillage to planting to hauling wagons. Its transmission, though criticized by some for its shifting pattern, was dependable and rarely caused major issues if maintained properly. Even though newer designs eventually overshadowed it, the 1086 remains a beloved tractor. Many examples still serve on family farms today, proving its longevity. It was one of the tractors that helped cement IH's reputation for reliability, even in a decade when the company itself was struggling financially. The 1086 may not have been perfect, but it was one of the most reliable tractors of the early 1980s, and it set the stage for the dependable Case IH machines that followed after the merger. Number 4. Case IH Magnum 7120. The Case IH Magnum 7120, also introduced in 1987, offered around 155 horsepower, positioning it perfectly between the smaller 7110 and the larger 7140. For many farmers, it was the just right tractor, powerful enough for serious fieldwork but still versatile for everyday chores. The 7120 used the same legendary Cummins 8.3L diesel engine as the rest of the Magnum lineup. Farmers consistently praised it for reliability, with engines running 15,000 plus hours on original internals. Unlike some competitors' engines, the Cummins was easy to service and parts were widely available, making downtime rare. The Magnum's 18-speed powershift transmission again proved to be one of the most reliable gearboxes of the decade. Farmers could shift smoothly under load, whether plowing, planting, or road hauling, without fear of damaging the transmission. This durability was a huge selling point, and it made the 7120 a machine farmers grew to love. Operator comfort was another strength. The Magnum cab was roomy, quiet, and well laid out, with intuitive controls. Long days became less grueling, and farmers appreciated that Case IH had finally built a tractor where reliability and comfort went hand in hand. The 7120 also earned a reputation for being extremely fuel efficient. In an era when rising costs had farmers watching every gallon, this gave it an edge over thirstier competitors. Even today, the 7120 remains a staple on many farms. It's considered one of the best all-around tractors of the 1980s, combining horsepower, efficiency, and reliability in a nearly perfect package. Number 5. International Harvester 1486. The IH 1486, produced from 1976 through the early 1980s, was another standout in the 86 series. With about 145 horsepower from the DT466 six-cylinder turbocharged diesel, it was built for big jobs, and it delivered. Farmers valued the 1486 for its rugged simplicity. The DT466 engine became legendary for its longevity, with many running 20,000 hours or more with basic care. It had the torque to handle heavy tillage, planting wide drills, or running forage harvesters, making it a true workhorse. The cab was similar to the 1086, but slightly larger, giving operators more comfort and better visibility. While the transmission still drew some complaints for its gear arrangement, it was solid and dependable when maintained properly. What made the 1486 especially reliable was its low-maintenance design. Farmers could fix most issues themselves without expensive dealer intervention. This made it especially popular among smaller and medium-sized farms that couldn't afford downtime or costly repairs. Even though it was overshadowed by the Magnum series later in the decade, the 1486 built a reputation that still endures. Many are still in use today, proving just how tough and reliable they were. The 1486 was a tractor that embodied International Harvester's philosophy: build it strong, build it simple, and make it last. It remains one of the most reliable tractors of the early 1980s and a favorite among collectors and working farmers alike. Number 6. Case IH Magnum 7150. If one tractor from the 1980s deserves the crown of reliability and brute force, it's the Case IH Magnum 7150. Introduced in 1987, it was the largest of the first-generation Magnums, boasting around 215 horsepower. This was serious power for the time and placed it firmly in the heavyweight category, built for large-scale operations. The 7150 was powered by the legendary Cummins 14L855 big cam diesel engine, a motor already proven in trucks and industrial equipment. Its reputation for durability and torque carried over perfectly to farming. Farmers quickly discovered that the 7150 could pull the heaviest implements day after day without flinching. Its 18-speed power shift transmission was nearly bulletproof. Case IH engineers designed it to handle abuse, and it rarely failed when properly maintained. Farmers who had struggled with the fragile transmissions of other brands were amazed at how smoothly the 7150 shifted under load. Comfort was another selling point. The Magnum cab was large, quiet, and well-designed, with ergonomics that made long hours bearable. Farmers valued that reliability wasn't just in the engine and drivetrain, but also in the operator experience. Everything worked as it should. The 7150 cemented Case IH's reputation for reliability after the merger. It was proof that the brand could produce world-class tractors capable of competing with John Deere and International Harvester's pre-merger lineup. Even today, the 7150 is in high demand on the used market, often selling for premium prices. The 7150 was more than just a tractor. It was a statement. It told farmers that Case IH was here to stay, and it laid the foundation for decades of Magnum dominance. Number 7. International Harvester 5088. The IH 5088, produced in the early 1980s, holds a special place in tractor history as one of the last tractors built entirely by International Harvester before the Case merger. With about 135 horsepower, it was part of the 50 series, which replaced the aging 86 series. The 5088 was powered by the DT466 six-cylinder turbocharged diesel, a rock-solid engine known for longevity and strong torque. Farmers praised it for reliability, fuel efficiency, and ease of maintenance. It had the heart of a workhorse and could handle heavy row crop duties with ease. What made the 5088 especially appealing was its improved transmission and hydraulics compared to the 86 series. The 15-speed full power shift transmission was smoother and more durable than its predecessor, giving farmers confidence in demanding conditions. Hydraulics were also upgraded, making it better suited for modern implements. The cab was a significant step forward. Quieter, roomier, and with improved visibility, it addressed many of the complaints farmers had about the 86 series cabs. For long days in the field, it was a much more comfortable machine. Unfortunately, the 5088 suffered from bad timing. Released just as IH was sinking financially, it never had the chance to shine in the marketplace. Sales were limited, and many farmers were hesitant to invest in a company on the brink of collapse. But those who did buy them discovered the 5088 to be one of the most reliable IH tractors ever built. Many are still running strong today, a testament to their durability. For collectors, the 5088 is especially prized as the last true IH, marking the end of an era. Number 8. International Harvester 3388 2+2. Few tractors are as visually unique as the IH 3388, part of the 2+2 series introduced in the late 1970s and continuing into the early 1980s. With about 130 horsepower, it wasn't the biggest tractor of its time, but its unusual forward cab, articulated design made it unforgettable. Nicknamed the Ant-Eater because of its long nose, the 3388 placed the cab forward with the engine and rear axles behind. This gave it the pulling ability of a larger 4WD tractor while retaining the maneuverability of a row crop machine. Farmers who used them appreciated the traction advantage, especially in muddy or uneven fields. The 3388 was powered by the DT466 six-cylinder turbo diesel, one of IH's most reliable engines. Combined with its sturdy drivetrain, this gave the tractor a reputation for durability. Farmers often commented that while the design looked strange, it worked, and it kept working. The cab-forward layout had pros and cons. Farmers liked the excellent forward visibility, but some complained it felt unusual to sit so far ahead of the front axle. Despite its quirks, the 3388 proved to be reliable in the field, handling tillage and planting with confidence. While it never achieved massive sales due to its odd looks and timing, the 3388 remains a cult classic. Farmers who owned them often grew to love their durability and performance, even if their neighbors laughed at the design. Today, they are remembered as ahead-of-their-time tractors that blended innovation with reliability. Number 9. Case IH Magnum 7130. The Case IH Magnum 7130, introduced in 1987, was rated at around 170 horsepower. Positioned between the 7120 and the 7140, it was a perfect fit for farmers who needed significant power but didn't want to step all the way up to the largest models. Like all first-generation Magnums, the 7130 was powered by the Cummins 8.3L diesel, which proved to be one of the most reliable engines ever put in a farm tractor. Farmers routinely logged tens of thousands of hours with minimal issues. The engine delivered excellent torque and fuel efficiency, making it both powerful and economical. The power shift transmission was again a highlight. Smooth, durable, and easy to operate, it made the 7130 to use compared to older, more clunky gearboxes. Farmers could quickly shift between tasks, whether plowing, planting, or transporting loads. The cab, with its comfort and visibility, made long days more manageable. Farmers appreciated the combination of reliability and operator-focused design, a balance not always achieved in other brands at the time. What made the 7130 especially beloved was its versatility. It had enough power to handle heavy work, but wasn't overkill for smaller jobs. Many farmers found it to be the ideal main tractor on their farms. Even today, the 7130 is in high demand. Used models command strong prices, and many are still in daily operation. It was and remains one of the most reliable balanced tractors of the 1980s. Number 10. International Harvester 5288. The IH 5288, introduced in 1981, was the largest tractor in the 50 series lineup, rated at about 170 horsepower. It was powered by the DT466 turbocharged diesel, tuned for higher output and reliability. The 5288 was designed to correct the shortcomings of the older 86 series. It featured a stronger 15-speed full power shift transmission, upgraded hydraulics, and a much improved cab. Farmers immediately noticed how much smoother and more comfortable it was compared to earlier IH models. Reliability was the 5288's hallmark. The DT466 engine was already legendary, and in the 5288 it proved nearly indestructible. The transmission was durable, and the hydraulics had the capacity to handle more modern implements. Farmers who owned them often reported minimal downtime and straightforward maintenance. Unfortunately, like the 5088, the 5288 suffered from bad timing. International Harvester was collapsing financially, and farmers were reluctant to buy a big tractor from a company in trouble. Sales were limited, and the model never reached its potential. Still, those who did invest in the 5288 found it to be a rock-solid machine. Many are still running today, some with tens of thousands of hours on them. Collectors value them as one of the last pure IH tractors, while working farmers still rely on them for their reliability. The 5288 was a tractor that deserved more success than it had. It represented IH's best engineering efforts just before the Case merger, and it stands today as a symbol of what the company could have achieved if it had survived. Those were the Case IH tractors that stood the test of time, simple, tough, and built to last. From the legendary 1086 to the powerhouse 7150 Magnum, these machines carried farmers through one of the hardest decades in agriculture. And the best part, many of them are still out there, earning their keep every single day. So, which of these red workhorses do you think deserves the title of the most reliable Case IH tractor of the 80s? Let us know in the comments, and if you love tractor history, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and join us for more stories of the machines that changed farming forever.